that comes to play, even when they make the decision to use the child as bait later on, if you watch his face, he comes to that conclusion. He's already
really
considered it before they even decided on it. And so the direction of the camera allows you to see what he's thinking, even though they're not showing you what he's thinking. You already know. He knows that they got to use this child.
That light bulb.
But he's like, let me give them some time so that they can come to that conclusion on their own. Maybe they won't be so mad at me.
The joy in Galactus' face when he was stretching Reed apart made me feel like that, like a kid. You just waiting to pop. See how long you can stretch it before it pop. What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Cinema Goodness Podcast. I'm Kaheem. This JP. What's going on, JP?
Man, I am good. What about you?
I'm straight, man. It's a good time to be a movie fan. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm excited. Excited, man. I'm ready to get into this episode as well. We got 2 trailer reactions for y'all. We're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat Part 2. We're also going to be looking at Avatar Fire and Ash trailer. We're also going to be talking about the Fantastic Four First Steps film. And we're going to end things off with a rewatch of the week. I can't wait to get into that, man. A oldie but a goodie.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, Pacific Rim. Thank you, man. Thank you. Pacific Rim. Real good film, man. Ready to get into this episode. Sit back, relax, grab some popcorn. Let's get into the cinema goodies. All right, man. I'm too excited. I need to calm down a little bit. Excited, man. Let's get into this film trailer. Mortal Kombat 2.
Uno mas, thanks.
You're Johnny Cage. I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
They should do a reboot.
Nobody wants that. Shit went out in the 90s. Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight. Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How are you doing that?
Are you coming or what?
Where the hell am I?
It's called Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
Oh. Fuck that. This is a war for the fate of your world. You dickhead dinner what? I'm not some champion. I don't have transformer arms or shoot lightning bolts. This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
There's a war going on outside. You could run, but you can't hop forever, ever.
It's time to become the hero you were meant to be. All right, you big ugly fuck. It's showtime. Get over here!
Only the strong survive.
Raise him!
Are you shitting me? You don't have any powers? Just incredibly handsome.
All right, man. I'm super hyped, man. The first one, I was kind of like, man, they about to ruin another franchise. The first Mortal Kombat, I said they about to ruin it. But I'm hyped about the second one, man. I think they're gonna do a real good job.
Now wait a minute, isn't this is only the second Mortal Kombat? I thought this was the third one.
No, this is the second because they redid the franchise, and the first one they started off with that dude Cole Young, I think his name is.
Okay.
And he was kind of like the first one. They didn't have the actual tournament. They were supposed to be gearing up for the tournament, and things ended up going sideways. So this is the first time, like in this reboot, that they actually having a Mortal Kombat tournament. So
Okay.
it looks fun, man.
It does. I was a little confused on a couple of things. I'm trying to figure out why is Johnny Cage an actor? Why does he? I don't get that part.
Johnny Cage was a celebrity. I think he was an actor and celebrity in the original Mortal Kombat, in the video game, in the original games. Yeah, so he was a celebrity or actor. I think he was an actor. I think they got that part right.
Okay.
But Carl Urban, man, which is kind of weird for me seeing him as Johnny Cage. Honestly, I feel like they should have went with somebody else. But Carl Urban, he's real dope. So I think
he's a good actor.
movie, he's gonna do pretty well.
I see the Jack's back.
Yeah, man. Sonya Blade, Liu Kang. I think they doing all of them. See, the first Mortal Kombat was Shang Tsung, the one that was like, your soul is mine. That guy. And then so they doing real good, man. I think it's gonna do real well.
The strength of the ancestors is here.
You cannot live like this, baby. In hate.
If there's something you can do, then you must do it. The children. No, Spider. And we will find another way. Your goddess has no dominion here.
It looks like it's gonna be epic, man. I know.
Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna be epic. So I remember because we did a review on Way of Water. That's how long we've been doing this, man. That's crazy. But yeah, man, I think they're gonna pick up, especially when Jake and Terry losing their son in the last one. What's the name? End up getting the Avatar. I can't remember his name, but the villain from the first one ended up getting the Avatar. In the second one, he had a human son who ended up saving his life. So it's a lot here. I know all of these Spider, right? I know all of these run about a good 2 hours, so I think this one ain't gonna be no different. So it's gonna be a lot here. Real dense, a lot of exposition. but the good thing is it's always beautiful to look at. So
It's true. And I think they're going to be introducing, it seems like, some conflict amongst the people on Pandora. So, did you know before we're introduced to this first world, and then they're the tree people, then we're introduced to the people in the water, and now we're getting introduced to this new tribe. And of course, the humans are always a threat. The humans are back. They have been defeated every time, but they're gonna keep coming back because of greed. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited. I've been on board on all these. I wish that they weren't so far apart because I really am gonna have to go back and rewatch to bring myself up to speed.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's good. And you're absolutely right, James Cameron. The visuals are beautiful. Now, on this trailer, though, did it seem like the audio was kind of muted? Like, you hear the soaring background music, but there wasn't a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear a lot of the sound effects from like explosions and machinery. I didn't hear any of that. Just mainly music, and then when the dialogue came, that's all I could hear. Was it just me?
No, you got that. I don't know why they did that. Maybe that was like a creative decision to kind of like put it in and out of what was going on. Maybe that was intentional. I don't know how. I'm sure they're gonna have a few more, like maybe another trailer before we get close to it. It's in December, so I don't know if they're gonna keep that type of scheme going. One thing you said that was interesting, the conflict between the tribes. That last line when she was like, "Your goddess has no dominion here." That's kind of like saying not everybody really believes in Awa. I don't know if that's something that they addressed in the second one, but it's definitely something sure that you can kind of see that they kind of stepping away from. The further they go out, the more the tribes are that much more different. And I think that's cool, you know, such is life. You know, not everybody's on the same page. Not every tribe worships and acts the same. So that's going to be a nice dynamic that they're going to have.
And that tracks, because if this is like a fire tribe, if you remember, fire was like a horrible thing to the tree people.
Yeah.
So if this is like a fire tribe, that would make a lot of sense that they don't believe in Awa, because they don't believe in, on the tree people side, they don't believe in burning anything because everything is sacred and connected. So you don't destroy anything because it's all connected to Awa. So that's going to be interesting. I'm excited about that. It looks like they're going to end up united against the common enemy. That's where it looks like it's going, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. I think this is gonna be the last one of the trilogy, so hopefully it ends off with a bang. If not, I'm sure they're gonna leave us with a nice little cliffhanger. It's gonna piss us off. All right, man. Let's move on to Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so Fantastic Four: First Steps. Set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s-inspired retro-futuristic world, the Fantastic Four: First Steps introduces Marvel's first family: Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Ben the Thing, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer. And if Galactus's plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. The Fantastic Four: First Steps is a 2025 superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team of the same name. A reboot of the Fantastic Four franchise, it is the 37th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the first installment of Phase 6. And it was released just recently on July 25th, 2025. The film was directed by Matt Shakman, of WandaVision fame. Stars Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Eben Moss Bachrach as Ben Grimm, The Thing, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Human Torch, Julia Garner as Shalabal, Silver Surfer, with Natasha Lyonne as Rachel Rosman, with Paul Walter Hauser as Harvey Elder Moleman, and Ralph Ineson as Galactus.
Yeah, man. He did a great job. I'll say
He
that.
did. He was great.
Yeah, man. So the film begins 4 years after the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm gained their powers and became established heroes of Earth 828. We know that the natural, not the natural, but the original timeline is 616, I think.
Correct.
So this is 828. I'm thinking this is the first time we've seen or visited 828 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We had
Correct.
the 838, and then we got 42, which was from Miles Morales when he went to Earth 42. That's where his spider is from, Earth 42. So we've been through a lot of different Earths. This is the first time we heard of Earth 828. Sue and Reed are expecting their first child, adding a layer of family drama to their heroics. So that's kind of like how we start off. I thought it was cool. They had like these different, because the origin story thing has been like a big topic. A lot of people don't want to see the origin story anymore. They know how they got their powers. They went into space, got hit with a cosmic blast, they became the Fantastic Four, right? A lot of films up until this point kind of did the origin story, but I think they just kind of glossed over that and just like put us right into like where they are now. And I thought that was a good thing to do. It was a good creative choice because they could kind of like layer it in as the stories unfolding, and I thought it's pretty dope. What do you think about the aesthetics of the film, like the futuristic retro type of thing? We kind of talked about it when we saw the trailer, but now that we've seen the movie, like what was your thoughts about it?
Man, I love the retrofuturism. It is the Jetsons come to life, essentially.
Yeah.
It gives you that 60s feel is there, but they have technology beyond our technology. Interestingly enough, from my understanding, they're the only superheroes in this world. So they do have some villains, some minor villains that they deal with, but they're the only superheroes that I know of from this world. There may be some that I don't know, but this is as far as I know. So yeah, I love that the aesthetic is beautiful. It's a whole world that you're introduced to, and I'm so happy they did bypass the origin story because they bring us right in, and everyone loves the Fantastic Four and how they have sacrificed and had this experience, and they're our protectors. I love it. That part was really good. They did some great world building, so it was beautifully shot.
Yeah, man, I like that part. Because they're the only heroes, it's kind of like everybody like looks up to them. They really they're like real heroes. Like there's no other people that they can kind of look to, and kind of like when we get to the climax of the movie, it's kind of reinforced like we got to protect y'all. Like it's nobody else to kind of do that. So I thought that was dope. So towards the like as the film's building, we go run into like the Silver Surfer scene, man. The Silver Surfer arrives to Hero Galactus and inform the Earth that they've been marked for death. It's crazy. Like imagine you driving down the street and just seeing something flying down to the sky just saying you're marked for death, bro. Like the whole I like the monologue, like love your people, stick close to the ones you love, because it's kind of like this is the end. A lot of people didn't like the female Silver Surfer like angle, but I thought it was really well done. It's different. It's the first time I've heard or seen a female Silver Surfer, so that was dope for me. That initial scene, like where like Johnny like sees her and kind of like gets attracted to her and all of that stuff, like that was all funny. The like just the whole build up of it was pretty dope. And it was just really menacing, man. Like, what'd you get from that?
I really, as far as the Silver Surfer is always a cool character. I did a little, because we always see these people who, before a movie comes out, they are upset about something. So I wanted to get to know and find out, okay, so is this a gender swap? Because we talked about this before. It wasn't a gender swap. Shia LaBeouf is actually one of the Silver Surfers, one of the heralds from the comics. What, if you can see beyond that and understand that this is a real comic book, iteration of the Fantastic Four, then it kind of will tell you, which direction the story may be going, because Shia LaBeouf has her place in the story of the Fantastic Four, and she's actually connected to the original or the male Silver Surfer counterpart. I believe they were in love, and she ends up in this story. I believe they changed her story a little bit because I believe Shia LaBeouf becomes the Herald because of falling in love with the original Herald. Okay, but I think they're twisting it around because in this one they made her origin story is that she wanted to save her world, and so to save her world she became the Herald. So I have to look more into that. But yeah, that's nothing. I don't have any problem with it being a female character. I think she did the character justice. The silver, just the look of it reminds me of the T3 from Terminator. So it's super cool.
Yeah, man, for sure. So once Shia LaBeouf kind of like makes her announcement and stuff, the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, they kind of like triangulate her path. They know where she's going. So they end up, basically following her trajectory to see where she's going to end up, to kind of like help, protect the Earth. They want to protect Earth. So they track Silver Surfer to Galactus, and when we first encounter Galactus, he's already eating a planet. He's already eating one up, which was dope. That whole scene, like the thing I could appreciate about this film was like everything was so seamless, like the CGI, the practical effects, like everything looked like seamless. It was just so good to look at. Like we talked about how Avatar looks, like it all looks good, like it all belongs in the scene. Like the color grading, everything from the effects, all look great. So the Fantastic Four travel to confront Galactus. Galactus reveals that Sue and Reed's son, unborn child, Franklin, possesses power, the cosmic power, and sees the child as a potential successor to his role as a devourer of worlds. He wants the Fantastic Four's son, Franklin, to kind of like take his place and become.
He wants the child. He wants the child.
He wants the child. Which was a cool spin. I thought, because as the ship was kind of going through the planet or whatever, they had that light moving inside the ship, and it kind of like zeroed in on Sue's belly. I was like, what's going on with that? And I thought that was cool how they kind of like twisted it, and it kind of gave Galactus motivation. It gave the Fantastic Four something to fight for, and I thought that was pretty cool, man. That whole outer space scene, seeing Galactus on screen for the first time, was really well done. The way his eyes lit up, his armor, his voice, how like inside the ship, all of it was dope, man.
Yeah, the as a Trek fan, when they encountered Galactus, it gave me the vibes of the Borg, because that's what they always do when they encounter something. They scan it, to see what it is to determine is it worth assimilating. So that felt kind of like that. But yeah, I mean, if you know Fantastic Four, Franklin Richards is the son of Sue, and and Mr. Fantastic. So he is one of the most powerful MCU characters. Period. I think he's like in the top 3. So, yeah, Franklin Richards is supremely powerful. Yeah, and he possesses the power cosmic. So yeah, Galactus was like, yeah, I want that, and that also makes him a pawn for what we see in the mid-credit scene, because anytime you have that much power, people are going to seek to either capture it or control it somehow. So Franklin Richards being born is not just bringing Galactus; it's going to bring some other villains into the picture, and it's also it's gonna be the way that we get them somehow into our main story. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it is going to happen. But Galactus was super cool. I love his, because how do you visualize a being that is so great that it literally consumes planets? So I mean, the visualization it was amazing, because essentially when they come upon him, you just see this thing devouring the planet. But then when they go in, well, they get pulled in, it's essentially like this giant machine is like a chair almost, because when you get in there, Galactus is like strapped in. He's got tubes connected to him, because the machine, and I guess maybe his ship is part of him. I don't know that. I'll have to look that up. If the ship is essentially like part of his body, when he's connected to it, you notice like all of the raw materials that were being chewed up by the from the planet are being fed through all those ports in his back.
Yeah, that was cool. Like, I was wondering that too.
Yeah, because if you remember, Mr. Fantastic was able to pry one of them open, and like lava came out of his back.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
whoa.
The same
type, So
that
I'm
was
guessing
cool.
that is how that worked.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if it's a part of him, but I know that it feeds into him. After this giant thing, grinds up the planet, it all feeds into his back. That was all. It looked very good, and I enjoyed that part. And now here's the thing. I was thinking to myself, now, I didn't know how they initially encountered. I thought Galactus first was going to come, because, you don't know what to expect going into the movie. When they got on that darn rocket, talking about they're going out to space, I'm like, y'all don't even know.
You don't even know.
You don't even know what's out there. You just going on a whim, huh?
Yeah. So that's just like that's their character arc. Like they're explorers. They just want to go out and see. That's kind of what got them in trouble the first time. Just going out there and not really knowing what's up. So yeah, I was like that too. Like, where y'all going? Like, what are y'all gonna do when y'all get there? They don't know. But
exactly.
They're gonna protect. They're gonna protect. So after Galactus makes his appeal, wants to take Franklin from the parents, the team refuses Galactus' offer to spare Earth in exchange for the child, and escapes from his ship. While they're escaping from the ship, so they got the Shalabal chasing them behind them, and they're about to have birth. Sue is about to give birth to Franklin on the ship. Now, I want to say that the cold effect was in the beginning when like Reed is kind of like, was that beginning? But it was one scene where like they was trying to look at the baby, like he was worried about it, and then her stomach went invisible. You could kind of like see the baby inside the stomach. I thought that was real cold effect that they had. But yeah, she has Franklin on the ship. So, which was cool was because like you thinking all this happened in like a real short amount of time. When they got back to Earth, it had been months since they came back, and so when they get back, everybody think that they defeated Galactus. They all happy, that they returned and stuff. And one of the first questions was like, "How did you defeat Galactus?" And he's like, "Like we did." Like,
yeah, they were like,
when he got
what had happened was,
yeah.
Now, actually, Galactus induced her delivery. Because if you remember when they were on the ship and he said, "I want the child," and they were like, "No," and he leaned in and focused on her. When they were on the ship, they decided that they were going to negotiate because they realized there was nothing they could do. And he puts his offer down. He wants the child. They say, "Of course not." And Galactus leans in and focuses on her belly, and she immediately starts going into labor. So he induced her going into labor because he wanted to get that baby right then.
Yeah.
And that's when they started like this mad scramble to get back to their ship. Yeah. And then have to fend off, Ben Grimm and Human Torch are trying to fend off the Silver Surfer, Shalaval, from going in because she could just reach in her belly and take the baby out.
She was about to. She was close. She was real close to getting that baby.
She was real close. Yeah. I mean, and how about Shalaval is faster than FTL transport? I was like, now you telling me she's fast enough to stay with their ship?
She was moving, boy. She was moving. That whole scene was dope on the effects as how they had her moving through, like even how they initially had to shoot her down. You know what I'm saying? They had to make the stuff bend because all the physics stuff was dope. They had a lot. That's probably like one of my favorite scenes. The scene when that chase scene. So the team's decision to prioritize their child over the potential saving the planet draws public backlash, raising ethical dilemmas about the value of individual lives versus the fate of many. That was a real big deal. Everybody was like, why didn't you give up the baby? Like, that's crazy, but that's just how selfish I think like human nature is. Like, they wanted to kill the baby. Like, the hell
without a thought. They were like, why is the they were like, what? Wait a minute, why is the baby here?
Y'all can have another one or something. Just give him the baby. Like, that's so disrespectful, man. Like that also had a good a dynamic between Reed and Sue. Like, you got to see how their thought process is because Reed's very analytical. He's like, the fact that he even thought about it made Sue piss Sue off. Like, but this is how he works. Like, this is how his mind works. He wasn't really considering giving the baby away, but he's just thinking about all the variables. Like,
yeah, he had to consider it.
And it kind of caused a little rift between them. So they gave Sue really good. I think she stands alone on her own a lot in this film. She's very like independent in the way that she operates. I don't remember the dynamics between Reed and Sue in the other films, but this is the most that I've seen of where it's like they complement each other, but they also have their own type of way of handling things, their own type of way of thinking. And I thought that Pedro and I forget the lady's name. You said it earlier. I can't remember. But I think that it played really well on screen.
Vanessa Kirby,
thank you. Their dynamic, the way they played it, was very well done on screen, and I like how they casted them. It's really good, man.
Yeah, with Reed Richards being, one of the smartest folks in all of the MCU, it would be a deviation from his character for him not to have considered every potential possibility. Right. So, although it's hurtful to Sue, she knows her husband. She knows that he has considered it. That's why she was like, I know your mind, and you know, because of how you think, sometimes that hurts us or hurts me because you're considering things that are bad, you know, that would be bad for our family or bad for our relationship, just because of that's how he thinks. That comes to play, you know, even when they make the decision to use the child as bait later on. If you watch his face, he comes to that conclusion. He's already
Really
considered
quick.
it before they even decided on it. And so the direction of the camera allows you to see what he's thinking, even though they're not showing you what he's thinking. You already know. He knows that they got to use this child.
That light bulb.
But he's like, let me give them some time so that they can come to that conclusion on their own. Maybe they won't be so mad at me.
Yeah, man. Once they really go through this whole thing about Galactus coming to get the baby, Galactus basically coming to destroy the world, Reed has a plan to where he's gonna actually move the Earth from one solar system to the next. Right? He creates a teleportation bridge that gets Earth out of the view of Galactus, and I thought that was a dope idea. Right? My main thing was like, how would they transport the Earth, and they need the sun? You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Earth needs the sun. So I was kind of like, that was like my aha. Like, would that even work? Like, what would be the substitute for that? So that's just something that I was just thinking about. But as they're creating this teleportation bridge, they had to conserve power. They have to do all of these things and to make sure that it works. And right when they're about to execute the plan, out of nowhere, Silver Surfer comes and destroys all the ships. Like, she's flying all over Earth, knocking these ships out. That scene was so dope because I was like, man, it's about to happen. And then, boom, 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 boom. And then I think that was cool. Like, that was right up her alley, and it was really entertaining, man.
Yeah, she was like, gotta be faster than that, gotta be quicker than that. Yeah, she was like, no, y'all not getting out that easily. Now here's what I wish, but I think that this is something that is baked into the character.
Okay.
They do not listen to Human Torch. Okay. And they think that he's just a ladies' man, and that's all his focus is, and he's a joking character. He's not ever serious. But he actually had an answer, and because they wouldn't listen to him, he decided to just work on his little plan B secretly, and execute his plan. So I hate that, but it's kind of realistic, because when you have somebody who's normally not serious, they don't take things seriously. When they say something, you don't take what they're saying seriously, right? Because they're always joking and playing around. They don't really mean what they say. So they kind of overlooked him, and I'm glad that he kept working. I think that everyone in this group, and I think the movie did a good job of showing this, they have a really strong sense of duty to the planet. Okay. Even after all the ugliness, when they first came back and people started rioting and asking them to to give up the baby, Sue was able to turn their hearts and minds toward collective effort to work together. And I think because of their position and their idea of this strong duty, she was the first part of the movie showed us how she had become so involved in, peace talks, and how she had won the Nobel Peace Prize, and, she's been involved in, ending these conflicts, and she's become an ambassador of such worldwide. So that's where all that sense of duty comes in. It makes a lot of sense that, they're scared. This is their first time being put in a situation where, it's been our duty to protect Earth, but we realize this is a force that we really don't have the power to go against. And that there's a very high probability that we might lose. So I really got that from the movie, and I think that's a part of why Human Torch kept working. Because after they blew him off, he could have said, "Forget it, whatever." Even Reed Richards wasn't putting enough time into trying to figure out why do we keep getting these messages in all these different languages that are coming in. He had even deprioritized it because his mind was so consumed with every other different thing. Right. So yeah, I love that, and I thought that was a great part of the movie because it kind of connected you with the characters a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely, man. I like that you said that because it really gave each character something more than their power set. You know, normally we kind of like, I remember from the other films, you just show Reed's really smart, and then you know Johnny's really flirtatious, and Ben Grimm is kind of always agitated, whatever. But this one gave them a lot more room to be useful in other ways. Ben Grimm being an awesome pilot, you know. Johnny being able to look outside of himself and find different solutions. Sue, you know, like you said, being a leader, being a peacemaker, you know, things like that, organizing, administrating all these things. It really gave him a lot of different character aspects that I appreciate. It just made everybody feel more human, more relatable, and much more enjoyable to watch on the screen. Which is something that really worked well. So after Silver Surfer destroys the bridge, Johnny tries to connect with her via her language, learning her language, talking to her about her home. He tries to convince her to help them. She's kind of being resistant at first, of course, because she's scared of Galactus, don't know what he's going to do. But then they come to the realization that Galactus is coming. There's really nothing else we can do about it. So we gotta, like you said, use the baby Franklin as bait. And that was the scene that everybody's waiting for. You know, Galactus coming to Earth and doing what he do. I thought it was really, really dope. And the color grading on this film made everything feel the retro feel, the futuristic feel, but it made Galactus really feel like he was in New York, or you know, and just moving through the city. That whole action scene, we really got a chance to see Fantastic Four do their thing in each way. Now the stretching part, like this was really controversial. You know, they had a meme where I'm gonna try to find it, but when you were a little kid and you had that rubber band, you know, you pull the rubber band, the joy in Galactus's face when he was stretching Reed apart made me feel like that, like a kid. You just waiting to pop. See how long you can stretch it before it pop. All of that was dope. But the stretching part, like I thought Mr. Fantastic could stretch as far as he can, like miles and miles. I guess in this film that they kind of had him restricted to like a certain length. Did you see that, or was that just like was that me? Because I'm trying to figure out like how is he in pain as like Galactus is stretching Mr. Fantastic? Like, how is he in pain like that? You know, because he was like really in pain. But that was kind of like one of the scenes that kind of like threw me off because I'm like he stretches like, but.
Well, you know, I'm not sure. I was looking at that, and you could hear ripping, but the ripping was his costume.
Right.
So it wasn't him ripping, and so I don't know what his limit is on that. And I think that maybe he was getting close to his limit because that's how it made it feel that way. Yeah. And then Ben Grimm being dropped like a cannonball, which was hilarious because Human Torch was like, say it. And he wouldn't drop him until he say it. That was hilarious. So when he finally said it and got him to say it's clobbering time, that was hilarious. So I don't know because he was saved by the bell or by the thing. I don't know, but definitely the costume was at its limits.
Yeah.
So who knows? I think that one thing I wanted to add that I really like that they actually took time to show is their Sue Storm had brokered a peace treaty with the Mole Man and Subterranea. And because they had time, they told us there's going to be a time dilation, so it's going to take time that they would have before Galactus would get there. That allowed them to evacuate the entire city down into Subterranea. Those people getting off those buses down in the dirt from their pristine and clean, blue and white city with the sunshine, and they're getting off in dingy, dirty, what New York actually looks like in real life.
yeah, for
so
sure.
they're getting the buses down there, and that was hilarious to me. That whole scene. But I love that they showed us that because it just helps. It makes more sense. Like, I have a pet peeve because Superman did this, and it's a pet peeve of mine when they say, "Oh, evacuate the city." Like, the villain is here. The villain is attacking. Are we just supposed to accept that you all evacuated a city of millions in 10 minutes? Is that how this is supposed to work? Or
like, where they go?
Are we just exactly? So, I mean, I like that they actually took time to show that to us. And then that's another benefit of Sue Storm having that role as the, conciliator, connecting people. So I thought that was super cool. And then them all underground while they're hearing Galactus stomp around is good. So yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the way they put that together. It made a lot of sense. And I could see when I saw that Matt Shackman had directed this, I said, I see exactly, because those first 2 episodes of WandaVision, we could have been in this world.
Yeah.
Because the first 2 episodes of WandaVision had this same feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Except that it wasn't futuristic, but it definitely had that same world effect.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about when I saw the Mole Man. I don't know if you've seen Incredibles, but I thought about The Underminer! The Underminer.
Now, I think most people have made the connection now that the Incredibles are a knockoff of the Fantastic Four. Are they the best? Are they the best Fantastic Four that's ever been on screen? They might be.
Yeah, Incredibles. They're pretty incredible.
They're pretty incredible. I think they might have beaten the Fantastic Four at being the Fantastic Four, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. The Underminer,
yeah, that's hilarious.
The team abandons the plan to move Earth and instead uses Franklin as bait to lure Galactus to the last remaining teleportation bridge. Sue uses her powers to push Galactus into a portal, while Silver Surfer delivers the final push and teleport away with him. So that scene was dope because I'm thinking, because we talked about that last scene from Thunderbolts, right? When we seen the Fantastic Four ship, that last cutscene, we see the Fantastic Four ship. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, is this gonna work? Is this plan gonna work? Is it not? How did the ship get there? I'm already thinking about this on this scene because I'm like, they about to lose and all of this stuff. So I'm like, man, what's gonna happen with Galactus? Is he gonna eat the planet or not? But I'm thinking, man, maybe Johnny's gonna die. So like he gonna actually get the baby. Like, what's going on? But Charlotte Ball ends up. I'm guessing this message, that this conversation that she had with Johnny, gets through to her, and she ends up helping to push Galactus through this big teleportation field or whatever, and she ends up going with him, man. And I like that it was really satisfying, but it also gave me a lot of questions as to where they're gonna go, kind of like with this. Like, I'm like, man, what's going on with the ship now? So, you're always a good theory person, so I want to hear your theory as to kind of like how this ship ended up in 616, man?
Listen, I don't have a theory for it.
Okay.
I thought my original theory, which was confirmed to be wrong, and I'm okay with that. I thought that they were going to lose and they were going to have to try to escape with Franklin, and that's how they ended up in somehow in 616. But I feel like that is probably my only disappointment about this movie because there wasn't that question was not answered.
Yeah.
I'm sure on the cutting room floor there is a scene that makes that connection, but it just didn't make it into the movie because why would you at the end of the Thunderbolts movie give us this and then not put it in the actual film? So I'm feeling like it hit the cutting room floor, and because a lot of things are kind of getting shaken up right now with Marvel, that kind of is understandable. Who knows whose final decision some of these things were, but I think that's probably my main disappointment. I wanted to see how we get there, but what I will say is some of the technology that Reed Richards is using, I think may end up being the reason as to why they end up in 616, because he's developing technology, not fully understanding what it really can do, because he'd only moved an egg, 10 feet before he decided to try to move the entire Earth. And to go back, I meant to say something about this. That plan had to fail because I think that had they gotten their way and moved the Earth, I think that the ramifications would have caused so much death on the planet. Because and although Reed Richards is very intelligent, and I know he would have done a lot of calculations, I think because they were under pressure of time and trying to figure out something that they can do, there are some variables that they didn't fully understand in this scenario. And when you're under pressure like that, that's natural. So that failing probably was the best outcome. Those devices, though, I think they may either between that or their ship device, their FTL device is somehow going to, I think, that's the only prediction I can make, that it's going to somehow take them interdimensionally. We know that Reed Richards knows about the other universes.
Yeah.
Maybe their temporary victory over Galactus is going to make him reach out to some of those other Earths to find some help, because they are woefully mismatched against Galactus. And Franklin Richards is still a baby. So that may be how it is. They decide to reach out to one of the other Earths to see, hey, do y'all know about this Galactus guy that eats planets? Have y'all, do y'all have a defense against him? To see, what, because that's how Reed's mind works. He's thinking about every different way to solve this problem. And just because you teleported Galactus away, that does not solve the problem. That kicks the can down the road. You don't really know how fast Galactus can move. So did you delay the inevitable by 1 year, by 6 months, by 5 years? You don't know. So his mind after this victory is probably already ticking. We need help. We need to figure out a way to be able, when this threat comes back, to be able to match it. And maybe that's where the door to the other universes and the multiverse gets open.
Okay. Good thought. So Sue dies. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because Earth is too big for only one group of heroes.
That's what I'm saying. No Spider-Man, no nobody, no X-Men.
Yeah. That's too big of a thing to do by yourself. I'm sorry, you were about to say something.
No, I was just moving on to the next plot point. So Sue dies from exertion of her powers, but Franklin revives her, showcasing the extent of his powers. So we've been kind of wondering what's going on with Franklin, what he got going on, and he ends up saving Sue, bring her back to life. That scene was real cute. We got him clapping and stuff, you know. Was that a CGI baby? You think that was a CGI baby?
Maybe when his eyes were blue, when his eyes turned blue, when he activated his powers. But I think they probably, I don't know, I'd have to look at the cast to see if there was, typically they use twins or triplets to not overexert the babies. So I'll have to see, was there an actual baby? I mean, it would make sense to do a CGI baby for like the scenes where they're just holding a baby. But maybe in those scenes, they did CGI. Let me tell you though, this scene, Ben Grimm has the baby, and then they hand the baby to Reed Richards, and the whole time I was going, put that baby on Sue. Put the baby down. Yeah. The baby has powers. Put the baby can save her. Y'all are doing CPR and you have a baby with the power cosmic. Put the freaking baby on his mother and let him save her. He will know what to do instinctually. And when they finally did it, I was like, yes, okay, fix her.
Yeah, right. Y'all was taking too long. But you know, they had the dragon drama.
Yeah.
They had the dragon drama.
They're not used to other superpowered people.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. But
yeah,
it was good scene.
Ready to give up.
Yeah, they was. He was breaking down Pedro Pascal, you know. But yeah, man, everybody did a great job. So the world celebrates their victory, right? A year later, the family's preparing for another mission. This mid-credit scene shows Sue walking into the room. She's looking for the baby. At first, she's reading a book, right? She's reading a book. Then she goes to get another book. When she comes back, she can't find him. And he's like standing up, and we see Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom. So the thing is it was kind of confirmed that Robert Downey Jr. did suit up as Dr. Doom for this little cameo scene. And I would have been like, man, that's a lot of money for a cameo scene. We don't even see his face. So they could have got one of the cast, like one of the crew members to do that. But
he got a good lawyer.
Yeah,
he has a good agent. His agent probably told him, "I don't matter if y'all not showing his face. You got to put him in that suit and pay him."
That's crazy. That's bad. That's a bag. They probably have more scenes. So I'm thinking this is one of my theories. Like they're going to use this scene, that little snippet, and expand it in another project. Like this is going to be like the start of something. Like they're going to use this scene with Dr. Doom and the little baby Franklin and expand it, and they're probably going to like build on it, and they're going to like include this scene into like another project, maybe like an Avengers project or something. But that's one of my theories, because just to have him in there for like this little second didn't make sense to me. I'm thinking like that's gonna be like the initial like shot, and then it's gonna kind of like go into like the story. So it teases the arrival of Dr. Doom, but I think they're gonna like use it for something like bigger. So that's kind of like my theory.
Yeah, and it brings us full circle to what we were talking about before. When you have a character, even though it's an infant, as powerful as Franklin Richards, it's like a beacon. So when you turn that power on, he was born. You have powerful figures like Dr. Doom, who's always connected to the Fantastic Four, and we know that he's our big bad villain for this phase. That I mean, it's a good connection. I think that even if even if it's just a brief interaction, I think that's also going to be like an impetus, a push for them to start exploring these other universes. Because we just had somebody come from another universe to talk to our baby. We got to do something. Their goal is trying to protect the baby, protect the earth. We can't be caught unawares. So Reed's mind is probably going a mile a minute, trying to figure out how we're going to protect from all these different threats that are now presenting themselves.
Yeah, man. So I'm wondering if this Dr. Doom, is he really from 828 or is he from somewhere else? Like, what's the story with that? A lot
That's
of
a good
unanswered
question.
questions.
I don't know.
Man. A A lot of unanswered questions, man. I'm excited for the future of Marvel, man. They got some good stuff cooking. And the fact that they're shortening their project list and really focusing on handpicking their stories, I think they can pay a lot more attention to how they connect the dots and flesh the stories out, man.
Yeah. And not think so formulaic. The thing that was refreshing about this movie is it had the story, it had humor, but it wasn't like a Taika Waititi humor where they just like go so far overboard where it feels forced.
Right.
So the humor is there, but the heart is there. You feel that it is the family. Even like the part about Ben Grimm, because I think that, especially with some of the previous iterations of Ben, his mutation changed his whole life. He can't be normal because he can't look like himself, and I think he prided himself in how he looked before. So now, although he loves to cook, we got to see that side of him, but he's really a big, cog in the family. But I feel like this movie showed us that he also wants to love and he wants to feel normal as well. And he was kind of reaching out for that. It didn't make it like a sad thing, which I think some of the previous iterations of Fantastic Four have made his story sad because he's so different that, how can he fit in anymore? But I think this one, it just tried to humanize him even more. So I like that part. So I think that I'm really excited for where it's going to go from here.
Yeah, they did a really good job with Ben. I think he's my favorite. Like what they did with him was something I enjoyed the most because, like you said, the other ones they made him feel like sad, wanted you to feel sorry for him. But in this other one,
I didn't get that at all. This movie,
it's like you're rooting for him instead. Like you're along for the ride. You're rooting for him, not in a sad way, but just like, man, he's dope, and you want him to be happy. It's just a different thing, man. So,
the tone was refreshing for the movie from Marvel.
Sure.
This tone was really good. I think I'm not saying every movie will be like this, but I like that this movie feels like it could stand on its own. And it could not be connected to anything and be a good movie.
For sure.
Yeah,
man. With that being said, what would you rate this film?
I'm going to give this one a 8. I really enjoyed it.
I'm on 8.5.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, man. Yep. Would you say this is better than Superman?
Yes. I gave Superman a 5.
You did. I gave it a 7. You did give it a 5. Right.
And let me tell you, I decided I made a meme and everything and posted it on a forum, and people, oh man, they don't like when you don't like what they like.
True.
Cut me up. I don't care. I stick by my gun. When it comes to this Superman movie, I feel like, this movie was better than that movie.
I agree.
I feel like this movie was faithful to who the Fantastic Four are because Fantastic Four was always about family. That's who these characters are. And essentially, they are literally fighting for their family, not just Earth, but fighting to save their family. So I felt like this movie was much better. I like the tone. I like the world building. Let me ask you this. Did you feel like Superman took any time to build the world out and make it interesting?
No, I think they just threw us in the world and just had us being there. Like it felt much more immersive because I feel like it wasn't gimmicky. Like I felt like Superman was more gimmicky, like in tone and quality and things like that. It was much more comic booky feel, I guess, and that's why it kind of felt like gimmicky. Like even when Lex Luthor blew that guy brains out in the prison or whatever, if that felt gimmicky, like it didn't feel menacing. So to answer your question, I like this tone better, and it just felt much more lived in, much more immersive, and it was dope. That was dope.
I would say this. I am, and I think this is something I'm pretty consistent on. When you are introducing a world and you actually take the time to build that world out, I mean, the whole movie is not about that, but when you see the director has taken time to introduce this world in a way that brings you into it, that's important. To me, the greatest movies, if you think about the greatest movies of all time, especially in the sci-fi genre, they do world building because it's important to understand the world that you're in, and it brings you into more of a connection with the characters. For me,
Yeah, for sure. Sure. So if you're watching this and you watch Fantastic Four film, let us know what you think. Put it down in the comments. We'll be sure to check it out.
The Cinema Goodness Podcast Rewatch of the Week.
All right, man. Moving on to the rewatch of the week. Rewatch of the week.
yes, Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is set in a future where Earth is at war with the kaiju, colossal sea monsters which have emerged from an interdimensional portal on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. To combat the monsters, humanity unites to create their own monsters, the Jaegers, gigantic humanoid mechas, each controlled by two co-pilots whose minds are joined by a neural link. Focusing on the war's latter days, the story follows Riley Beckett, a washed-up Jaeger pilot, called out of retirement and teamed with a rookie pilot, Mako Mori, as part of a last-ditch effort to defeat the kaiju. Warner Brothers Pictures and Legendary Pictures Pacific Rim is a 2013 American monster action film directed by Guillermo del Toro. The first film in the Pacific Rim franchise. It stars Charlie Hunnam, Idris Elba, Rinko Kikuchi, Charlie Day, Robert Kaczynski, Max Martini, and Ron Perlman. The screenplay was written by Travis Beacham and Del Toro.
It was dope, man. If y'all watch it, you need to check it out. It gave me a Gundam Wing type of feel. Like it was just real dope, man. I like the. This is my first time actually like realizing that Ron Perlman was in this movie because the first time I watched, for some reason it didn't click that he was in this film. But he's hilarious. He was hilarious. Charlie Hunnam, aka Jack Steller from Sons of Anarchy, was in it, man. Charlie Day, hilarious guy, man. Guillermo del Toro, don't do no wrong in my eyes. Great director.
Let me tell you, that man is a great director.
Yeah,
he's a great director, and he's done such a wide variety of movies. It's pretty cool that he has this huge repertoire. If they do another Pacific Rim, the second one was not so great. It felt like Power Rangers. But if they do a third one, Charlie Hunnam is on record as saying that will be the only thing that will bring him back to the Pacific Rim franchise is if they do a third one, if he comes back in to direct it. Yeah, and I'm all in.
Yeah, you gotta have him. I like the idea of how they built it because at first they started off with like one person trying to handle the Jaeger, right? And then it's like, man, the person went crazy, he died or whatever happened to him. Now we got to bring a two co-pilot situation there, basically like the left and the right brain working together, and then they syncing everybody up. That part was real dope for me. Idris Elba does a great job, but I knew they was gonna kill him at the end. I was like, man, of course. Yeah, man ain't been. He been the captain or whatever, like just the marshal, just delegating orders and all that. So as soon as he get in the suit, he gotta die. I was like, man, of course they gonna kill him, bro. He was gonna die.
He was already dying slowly. Yeah.
Anyway. But it was real entertaining, man. Real entertaining film. What was your favorite part about it?
Man, let me tell you. First of all, when we decided we were going to watch this, I have watched this movie like 3 times since we decided to watch it. This is one of my favorite movies. So I have watched it like 3 times. Okay. There are so many great moments. Like this is one of those movies, especially if you like mechas and kaiju. If you're a Godzilla fan, Gundam, all of that, that's right down your alley. That's what this is about. Which I've always loved Godzilla my whole life.
Yeah.
Watched that growing up with my dad. So and I remember showing him this movie. He loved this movie too.
Okay.
So yeah, this one, gosh, there's so many moments when they pulled the tongue out of that one monster at the end. Oh my God, they were like, give me this nasty tongue, pull it out. That was awesome. So that last fight was cool. Like the scale and size of it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love how, because this is something that people always say about Godzilla. How is Godzilla standing up in the middle of the ocean? This movie shows you how. Because what we don't see, especially if you don't know anything about the ocean, you see the water. The water is not deep at the front of the ocean.
Yeah.
Only in certain areas do you get to a deep drop off really fast, and those are fairly unique. You have that continental shelf. So you see them when they're out in the bay, they're standing on the ground because the water is not that deep and they're very tall. So they have to go really far out. And then when they get to the part where it gets deep, that's where they make that jump and they go into deeper water. It's the same thing with Godzilla, okay? Yeah. All right. So but yeah, like when they said reset that clock, that was awesome. That was a great part of the movie. When the triplets, now okay, the triplets fighting style, I wanted to see more.
Yeah, that was too short, man. It was too short. How you gonna have somebody that dope, a Jaeger that dope, and it was moving the way it was moving, and then it just like drop off. It was like a 5-minute scene. I'm like, come on, bro, like that's too dope for that. Maybe the CGI was just too much. It cost too much money or something. I don't know, but let's just say the CGI in this film is immaculate for the time that it was made. Like
2013,
it was phenomenal. the kaiju looked great. The like in comparison to the Jaegers and like how everything reflected, it was kind of like Transformers a little bit and how it looked, but it was like the machinery, the mechanics. When the rain was in the water, like, and I guess that was supposed to be like a Tokyo type of setting or something like that.
Hong Kong. They were outside of Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Man, it was even while they was fighting on the street, like it was just so epic and dope, man. A lot of good stuff in this film. Mostly like how I look at like the CGI in this film. It was just like, man, 2013, and thinking about how far we came in technology or whatever, this film still holds up. Like you could watch it and it still be entertaining. And
let me say something on that. Okay, so two things have happened.
Okay,
the CGI in this movie was before its time. Okay, and I say that because when the movie first came out, there were a lot of complaints that it was very dark.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember this when this movie first came out, because even I remember my dad saying that the film is dark. Like all of those night scenes, they're in the water, it's raining, it's dark. So our televisions have gotten better. And so now that these movies are available to stream, the first, when they first came out, 2013, it was dark. It was a widely held complaint that you can't see half the movie because it's so dark. But now in 2025, when I put this freaking movie on my TV, it was so vibrant.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember this seeming so dark, but TVs are better. So it's funny how the technology in our televisions has improved so that we can see this better. I don't know if this has ever been remastered for streaming. That may be part of the case, but there's never a scene where it seems dark now. And maybe our TVs weren't that great at home, but I know that was a very widely held complaint on the movie. But now if you watch it, it looks better than CGI in the new movies.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. I have seen that comment from a lot of people that the current CGI in new movies is worse than some older movies. Have you seen that as well?
I think I have. I've seen that circling. You know, I've seen a few memes about comparing old films to films like this, and I think it could be production. Just they're trying to get things out so they don't take the time, or they're trying new things. I don't know why you're getting this type of effect, but all I know is just for this film, it just made everything much more enjoyable because the CGI was so well done. And maybe because a part of it was dark, so you could kind of like hide certain things that didn't really work so well in the CGI space. But whatever creative choices they made worked to their benefit because it looks great, man.
It's awesome look, and it's because of the scale, it is so epic.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, this is how much I've watched this and followed this movie. The complaints about the being dark were so much that the second movie, almost every single fight scene is in the daytime. There is no night fighting in that second movie.
Man. Okay.
So if you watch that, have you seen the second one?
I haven't seen it. I didn't know they had one.
Your kids would love it. It feels like Power Rangers. So it was a departure from the first movie because Guillermo del Toro was not on board. So it suffered because of that. But in that second movie, all of it is daytime fighting. There is no blurry night, and that's why I said this. It's like we did a switcheroo because everything was there, but we just didn't have the technology at our screens at home that we watch everything on to see it clearly. Mm-hmm. Now, when you go back and watch that movie, it looks better than these new movies. I mean, because it's common to watch a new movie and you can see areas on the screen where it's like the CGI is not complete right there. It's just like a blurry area. I don't get that at all in this movie. When you watch this movie, you can see all. I love how they talk about a certain number of diesel engines per strand. So it's like muscles, and like you can see all the parts articulated. That was super cool. That's I mean, you hadn't guessed yet. I love the movie. It's
really good. It's really good. They tried to put a little romance in there. They didn't. It wasn't too much in your face, but they had it there. They had some hints. They had the altercations between the different pilots. They had the scientists. Charlie Day was probably one of my favorite characters because we had that scene, the typical scientists where they know what to do, but don't nobody listen to the scientists. Why do you have them there? So if you're not gonna listen, like what's the deal, man? Like y'all hire these people, pay them so much money, and you don't listen to them. Like these stories, man, it's so funny. But and I think it's kind of like what you said, like when you have somebody, a character where they're kind of like more outgoing, they kind of childish and like funny in certain ways. People don't really take them serious. It's kind of like the same thing with this. So yeah, it was really fun to watch, man. I'm gonna definitely watch the second one just so I can see what was going on. But my favorite scene was just that fight on the beach. Not the beach, but like in Hong Kong. That like on the water and when they got in the street, the Hong Kong fight was my favorite scene, man. Really well done, bro.
That was with the Last Jaeger because they had used EMP blast to disable the newer Jaeger. So Gypsy Danger was the one that was brought in with Michael Murray and Raleigh Beckett as the captains, as the co-pilots. And let me tell you, they fought their tails off.
Yeah, they did.
They got some moves. When they got picked up and they were up in the air.
Yeah, and they sliced the wing.
Yeah, it's like, we don't have any more weapons. And Michael was like, we have one more. And she speaks Japanese. And she's like, and they sliced that boy in half. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was dope. Yeah, man. A lot of good stuff in this film, man. So the kaiju was dope. That's like Yep, and like watching Superman and then coming back to this, it's kind of like, I didn't realize that kaiju was a thing like that. You know, like kaiju, this monsters was a big deal. But yeah, this is my favorite part, like that. And Superman, it was kind of like, it didn't need to be there, but I understood it. But this one, like, the setting was good, and it made the kaiju make sense. Like, they was there for a reason. And it's kind of centered around that whole idea of versus man and beast. And a real dope dynamic.
The kaiju, Godzilla is the most famous kaiju.
So is he a kaiju?
Oh yeah, a kaiju is just a giant monster.
Okay.
So all of Godzilla's foes are kaiju as well,
Okay.
and in the Godzilla universe, they have mechas as well, not just Mecha Godzilla. They also have Ultraman. I believe it's Ultraman. Oh god, I think that's his name. He's essentially a giant robot. So right. In the Godzilla universe, and so that's where, I mean, all of this is inspired from that. Okay. So that's where this whole that comes from, but it comes also from, you know, Japanese lore. So it comes from all of that. But I love the kaiju. Yeah. Cool. Giant monsters. Sign me up.
Right. Right, man. So IMDb rates this as 6.9 out of 10.
They lying. The devil is a lie. I'm a 9 going forward. Going first. I'm saying 9. I love the movie that much.
I'm on a cool 8, man. I'm on a cool 8. It's very entertaining, man. Very entertaining.
It gave you exactly what you came there for. And
exactly what you came for.
Exactly. When I get that from a movie, you got me.
Yes,
you
sir.
Got me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks for watching, family. Let us know what you're watching. If you want us to review, check anything out, put it in the comments. We'll be sure to check it out. Anything else, JP?
Good. Until next time.
Yeah, until next time, you have a light that is out of this world. Let it shine and be the richness that this world deserves. Much love, family. Being rich.
Peace.